to contest this assertion that is made that this was a period of jobless growth. Because in fact there's enormous job creation during this period. Levels of unemployment dropped during this period. All manner of positive things. He gives all the detailed socio-economic figures to show this upward process. That's what he calls age number 1. Then, as I was saying, he says age number 2 is from 2008 to 2022. And you have the direct opposite happens. So in these 30 years of democracy, we start off going this way, and from 2008 we could start going the opposite direction. So next time you hear somebody saying, you've had this terrible 30 years of democracy, they are not telling the truth. They are not talking about South Africa, they are talking about another country. And you can see why, one of the reasons, why from 2008, some of the socio-economic figures went downwards. Because I'm sure all of us will remember that 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009 was this period of the global financial crisis. Started with the crisis in the US banks, affected the whole world, impacted on us here. During that period, job losses started happening. This is an exogenous impact on South Africa of the global economy, which is shrinking, and therefore, in terms of our exports and all of that, they get impacted upon by that. So I'm saying you can therefore see one of the reasons why from 2008, in terms of those socio-economic figures, you would see a downward trend. But I don't think that is the entire explanation for this change. Because one of the puzzling things about this paradigm, as explained by Dr. Andres, is during age 1, the national government here is the ANC. During age 2, national government is the same party. So question arises, what happened that the same party is able to lead the country in this very positive way during age 1 and leads the country in the opposite direction in terms of age 2? That's a puzzle, that's a conundrum. If it was a change of party, another party took over, then we can explain it. But it's the same party. What happened? So I'm saying when we talk about Temsile, about 30 years of democracy, I think this is part of what we've got to take on board. That what Andres is saying is correct. Is factually correct. One of the things that Andres does not discuss, because he was not discussing that particular issue, is that it's during this age 1 that we adopt our current constitution, 1996. And part of what happens during that first period is that we then put in place all the institutions that are required of this Constitution. So whether you are talking Constitutional Court or Public Protector or the Commission on Gender and so on, gender issue and so on, all of these institutions, including the laws and regulations, come during this period. So this is a period, age number 1, according to Dr. Andres, not only of socio-economic progress, but also the very entrenchment, the definition of democracy in this country comes during this period. Challenges, even with regard to that, come during age number 2. I think this is a distinction that we need to make. Even in the context of voting on the 29th of May, I think we need to understand that context in order to be able to know who are we voting for. Who are these people? I am sure that all of us in this hall, being very educated people, I'm sure all of us have read the report of the Nugent Commission on SARS. Comrade President, I'm sure you've read it. You remember, colleagues, that what happened was, again, we're back to this age 1 and age 2. There was a certain period when the South African revenue was outperforming itself in terms of collections. We would always see this thing that there would be a forecast to say that SARS will collect R1 billion this year. At the end of the financial year, it's R1 billion plus. For a number of years, it was like this. And then during age 2, it went the opposite direction. SARS started underperforming. So that raised a question. Clearly there is something wrong. What is wrong? That's how the Nugent Commission of Inquiry, Judicial Commission, was appointed by President Ramaphosa. To answer this question, what has gone wrong? I don't know if there's anybody here who would like to help me to say what does the Commission say? I'm looking for a hand. The Nugent Commission says, obviously I'm summarizing, that some people took a decision to destroy the institution. Now all of us will recall that what has happened during, for instance, the proceedings of the Zondo Commission. There's been a big focus on the matter of looting. For instance, state corporations, whether it's Denel or Eskom or the Transnet and so on, a lot of looting. The Gupta brothers and all of that. In this case of SARS, there was no looting. The Nugent Commission says there were people who took a decision to destroy the institution. That's a very remarkable statement in my view. Because SARS is responsible for 95–98% of state revenues. You destroy SARS, you destroy the democratic state. And yet there were people who took a decision to do exactly that. So the Nugent Commission report, which I'm sure all of us have read, gives in great detail what is it that happened to destroy this institution. In reality, the alarm sounded by the underperformance in terms of revenues was because of the success of the program to destroy the institution. So in that sense, the people who had taken the decision to destroy the institution, they also provided the key to alert all of us to say there's something that's going wrong, which was what led to the formation of the Nugent Commission. Now, some of us, after reading the Nugent Commission report, one of the things that stood out was the absence of looting. Because here's the state agency, it collects all these billions of rand. And you would think that one of the targets that would be to steal. No, the intention was not to steal, but to destroy the institution. I think that tells us something. How do we explain that? That there would be people who would deliberately set out to seek an outcome of that kind. These are obviously people who are hostile to the very existence of that democratic state. They don't want it to succeed. So they intervene. If we take away these revenues, it won't be possible for the state to succeed. I'm saying it must be that there are people there, those people, were people who didn't like our democracy and wanted something else. I think what the importance of that Nugent Commission report is that it actually communicated a very important message which all of us in South Africa should understand. Exactly this central point, that there were certain people in the country who deliberately set out to destroy this democratic state. Therefore, it's not everybody who celebrated 1994. There's certainly, to some of our fellow citizens, 1994 represented a defeat. And they did not accept that it's going to be a defeat. So it was a temporary defeat for them, but they knew that in time we will win. The message I'm saying, colleagues, it stands out, it's very stark in the Nugent Commission report. But I know the majority of us in this room here are hearing what I'm saying as new news. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not fake news. And part of the reason you are hearing it as new news is because for some reason, which I can't understand, the content of that report has not been widely reported in our media. It hasn't. The Zondo Commission continued, looked again at the SARS issue. They looked at the outcome of the Nugent Commission of Inquiry on SARS, and they said, we agree with what that commission says and its outcomes. But we are going to look at the same question again because it's imperative in terms of our own mandate. And they did. The Zondo Commission looked at the SARS matter, continued from where Nugent had left off. And now this is one of the extraordinary conclusions in the Zondo Commission report. That, as all of us know, the Zondo Commission report has been now in the public domain for 2 years or something. The Nugent one has been on the public domain since 2018. And clearly all of us have read it, the Nugent report. And I'm quite sure all of us have read the Zondo Commission report. The Zondo Commission report, among its conclusions on the SARS matter, says one of the people who played a leading role in the effort to destroy SARS was the President of the Republic of South Africa. That's a strange conclusion. Fortunately, I was not president at the time. The Zondo Commission says, in terms of all of the evidence that we've received,